Hey! Welcome to another edition of Purpose for Forever. I am Anthony. This is Samantha. We are in the building every night, every
Monday.
I want every night. Every
Mondays.
night. All right, yeah, every Monday at 8 p.m. we come on. We talk about marriage, our journey, and the journey of other people that are part of our group and people we've connected to throughout the years. So we're gonna have a great conversation. I keep saying his last name in my head, but I feel like I'm gonna mess up. There you go. I'm gonna get it right. Look at that. The Bowdens.
Just call him by his name.
Yeah, Boysie Sherri. See, bam. So yeah, I do. I make it harder than it needs to be. So hang tight. Hold on. We'll be right back when I can find this intro. Bam. Building, yeah.
Look, Sherri was all ready. She was like, "Let me get my good side."
Right.
Awesome. All right, so let's start off with the basic of what we always generally ask our couples. How did you guys meet?
We met at church. I was going to Mercy Outreach, attending a church with the pastor was Addie Collins, co-pastor was Diane Barino, the Church of Fantasia, mother and grandmother. And I was singing on the choir, and the Barino family came to sing one day, and I was mesmerized by the group. I prayed to God that she will just ask me to join her group, and it actually happened that way.
Wow.
And
okay.
Once I joined the group, we became good friends. Then I was the secretary of the choir at the time, so I had to reach out to Boysie every now and then to see if he would come and play for the pastor, and the relationship or friendship kicked off from there. So started as friends, and now we're here.
That's our version.
Right there. Who's yours?
Yeah, well, it's about that's about it. I mean, because I've been playing for Barino since '94, '95.
Okay.
And I met her at some churches too before you came with the Barinos. And I was married at the time.
Oh.
I was married to my oldest son's mother.
Okay.
So I wasn't interested. I mean, I always find make connections friendship wise with people. So I think after we recorded one of our albums, we had CDs and we were just passing them out to folks. And
Right.
She eventually wanted one. And I believe this is the strangest thing. My ex-wife and I at the time drove to her house and gave her a Barino family CD. She was in the car. Yeah. But I remember, and we only lived maybe at the time, maybe 3 blocks away from each other. Probably 3 blocks away, and I didn't know it. But I wasn't interested, and I didn't know all that. So I saw her one day when I came to the edge of my street. I saw her in the car,
right,
with her oldest son's father.
Okay.
Stepson's father, and I didn't know her at the time. I saw her. You know how you watching a movie, the car passes by in slow mo, and you see that one person right there passing through. I never seen her. This is before I even knew she was. Before I even took the seat out there, I just seen her prior to that in a vehicle, and it's almost like it was slow mo. I seen her in the car with this guy. I know a gold Nissan Stanza. It was going in slow mo, passing by.
But a car.
And I didn't know at the time this was going to be my friend / wife later down the road. So, but yes, my wife and I at the time was going through a divorce, I believe, separation when I was on and she sent me call me and say, hey, Pastor Collins told me to call you, and is you available to come into our rehearsal tonight? I'm like, nah, I don't feel like playing for nobody. I ain't coming. And she would say, you ain't doing nothing else. So I was home by myself. My wife and kids was gone. You know what I mean? I was just thinking, so I would go down and do the rehearsals. I think I sat in the rehearsal one time. I didn't play that rehearsal. She called me the next week. Can you come to our rehearsal? Pastor Collins told me to call you. This time I got my keyboards and I went, and it just, I guess from there went on from there. But that's how we met. And then I started because I was already playing for another church anyway, even though I was playing for the Barino family.
Right.
But they started their church service early. It was an AME church. Okay. They started early, and I was able to get out of the service and drive down to Mercy Outreach and play there on their services too. So that's how I started going, and we just became friends. And then, friends became friends and friends. We got much closer because then I would start to drive on the road because I think she used to call me. One time she just started calling me a lot. And it was all during while I'm at work. I was working at a Spectrum laboratory. I was doing ICD-9 coding, and she would call me all the time. So I would have my little earpiece in talking to her all day. She just talking. So it went from there. We was just good friends. It wasn't nothing that we was interested in like that. But then I think in 01, was it 01? It started blossoming from there. And I lost that job. I got fired from that job because one of the ladies there was trying to get with me. No, she couldn't get with me because she hadn't met my wife. So she's like, we had meetings every Wednesday.
Right.
So they would tell us, hey, when I come in with my coffee cup and we're going to get Boysie fired because I wouldn't show up at their house that weekend.
Oh.
So she made all kind of, and they fired me.
Wow.
So, but I looked for a job every day for almost a year, almost every day, at least 4 times a week.
Wow.
And she called me one day and she says, well, Boysie, maybe it's not for you to work a full-time job. You might just need to do music for a living. I was like, you out your mind. I'm not going to do no music for a living. No. Because the other church I was playing at was only, giving me $40 a Sunday.
Right.
So, I'm going to do music for a living.
Right.
And lo and behold, maybe a few months after that, this preacher flew in to Mercy Outreach from Wisconsin.
Right.
And I started playing behind him. He turns around, I'm going to fly you to my church. I need a little salt and pepper in my church. White man. So, and from there, he flew me in. And it was the rest is history. So I started flying to a lot of church services. And mind you, I raised my kids myself after my wife left.
Right.
So Sherri was like, I'll keep them for you. So she would keep the kids for me when I was on the road.
Wow.
And that's how our friendship started blossoming.
Wow.
So when I'm gone, sometimes I'll be gone 2 months at a time. She would have the kids.
Wow.
Somebody like, oh, you ought to marry us. I can't marry that girl. We just friends. And even after, I don't know what the question got. I know it's coming. What's the matter? What the question got?
I was letting you finish. I was trying to let you finish your story.
I am an open book. Yes, I've been in church all my life, but a just man falls 7 times, but he get back up 8. You know what I'm saying? But,
okay, so we're gonna go to an easy question. Yeah. So you guys are a blended family. So how many kids in total do you have?
6.
How old is the oldest? Giannis. Giannis is his name, right?
Giannis is my oldest. He's 24.
Wait.
Gabriel is my oldest daughter. Yeah, I've never met Gabriel.
I'm about to say I don't know her.
Yeah, if you look on some of those posts that we just put up on her birthday, those are the kids.
Okay.
Minus,
so y'all have a 29. You said 29?
Yes, the one that I just posted on my Facebook page, April the 11th.
Okay.
Wait, he said 29. How old are we?
She's 29.
But she's not his biological child.
Okay.
He's been raising her since 1.
Let me explain it. Yeah.
Okay. No. It's okay. I'm like, I know you're not that old. That's why, like, I'm tripping in my mind. Like, okay, no, I got you.
But yeah, because my first marriage, she was only, but I got with her, she was 18, I was 19, something like that. Okay. And her daughter was a year old.
Okay.
And the son, well, a year and a half when I got with her. And the son was 8 months old. And she only seen her dad probably 2 or 3 times in her whole life.
Wow.
He lived in Florida somewhere. So I've been raising them since they were 8 months old to now. So daughter. So she's 29. You got a 29-year-old, 28, 24, 23, 22, and Tristan is 17. The one y'all know.
Right. Wow, he's 17.
He's gonna be 18 in September. Yeah.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Wow.
He's 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, we've been around each other for 20 years, but we only been married for 2 and a half.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I wasn't even gonna ask that question. See, look.
Married to you for free.
And to be honest with you, a lot of preachers, because Sherri traveled with me a lot going to singing for me, because she told me even when we split up. Y'all seen us when she got pregnant, and a lot of folks like, why you get this girl pregnant? Bro, man, one thing led to another. And I was an open book, and I called this preacher and said, hey man, look, I told him we done messed up. We got to go talk to this preacher about this. I was the one that said that. But and we went and talked to this preacher, and we did it in confidence. Guess what he did? He called the whole country. It was all over the place. It was in Atlanta, it was in Florida, it was in Wisconsin. Boys got this girl. Well, you can't be, and they called me 2, 3 in the morning. You can't have boys playing for you. You done did such and such and such. Wow. So it did cost me.
Right.
But hey, and then to be very honest with you, I had my own purpose, my own motives, because I didn't want it to embarrass me.
Right.
So I started to abort the child. You hear me?
Gotcha.
And I had to tell my son this. Sure, like, you ain't gonna tell him that. I said, yes, I am. I'm old, because he should know. So I got up one Sunday, and I said, and I think it was one Father's Day too. I said, look, I told her, she called me when I was in Wisconsin planning this church. I got something to tell you. I was like, well, yeah, tell me. I'll tell you when you get back. I'm like, no, you can tell me that now. I don't want to wait till I get back. Tell me now. So she told me when I got back, she told me, I'm like, no, we ain't keeping it. We ain't keeping it. Because I said, because this is gonna cause a lot of problems. Right. So I'll pay for it. So she went, she like, no, boys, and she was like, she was rebelling. Only, and she should.
Right.
I'm like, no, so what, it was $800. I said, you know what? I gotta leave and go out of town. When I come back, I'll just pay the $800 when I get back. Got back, $1,600. Charlie, like, it's gonna be a 2-day, too far long. And the Lord spoke to my heart and says, stop right there.
Wow.
He says, I don't care how much money you have.
Right.
He said, this seed was not purposed to come out of a married union.
Right.
He said, this seed, do not abort this seed, because I have a destiny and a promise for this seed that you finna abort. Told my son, he said, Tristan, he said, you keep this seed. He said, I am the only one that give life. Even in your mess, I had a purpose for it.
Wow.
So I said, oh, and I went to her and I apologized to her. I said, I put you through this situation. Right. I said, this is what the Lord said to me. Now, did she break up with me? Yes. she said, you know what? I just think we should be friends. You know what I mean? So we became friends. We stayed friends. And she told me, she says, hey, even though we're breaking up, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna still sing for you. I'm gonna back you up. And I said, okay. So there was sometimes I had to play at a church for 2 years, 2.5 years. It was an hour and a half, almost 2.5 hours away. She went every Sunday and sung every Sunday. And we was broke up. So a lot of preachers like, ain't y'all getting married? when y'all gonna get married? No, I said, I ain't married her. She was like, no, you ain't married him. We ain't even together. But everybody thought we were together because we were still, everywhere we went, we were still together.
Right.
So she was my best friend first. And yeah, she broke up with me and she told me she didn't love me, brother. A matter of fact, in 2005, I proposed to her at Mercy Outreach in front of the church. Tasia and Diane and Pastor Collins came up. They were like, yeah, say yes, Sherri. Say yes, Sherri. Yeah. Sherri like, no. Pastor Collins like, come on, honey. You know, you've been asking God. Come on. No. I was so embarrassed. Yeah,
okay, so Sherri, you gonna have to, since he just done, said all this. So Sherri, so what was it like for you during this time? Because what made you break up with him? Let's start there.
Because I felt that he was worried about what people thought. And he was embarrassed. I'm like, so we either gonna do it or we're not gonna do it. I don't want to be a secret because you're scared that it may mess up your money. So let's just be friends and just hang together. And that way I'm not messing up your money. And so, but during that time, I dated here and there. The stuff didn't work out. Like I said, we was together all the time. So they just assumed that I was still in love with Boysie. And then I always was with his kids because his kids is my kids. I don't believe in the terminology step. Right. I just say step to let them know that I don't have a 29-year-old, but still, those are my kids. They got kids of their own. I love them to death. And like I just kept his daughter's daughter a few weekends ago, a few days ago. So those are mine, and we just threw her a surprise birthday party, and her mom called me to help set up some stuff. So those are my kids. So
I ain't think that'll ever happen. The ex-wife called because the ex-wife would come over to my house. He was when me and her, started really dating. Come over to the house and bust the windows out because she was like, because she never thought, I guess, that I was going to move on. My ex-wife would always leave home without me knowing.
Wow.
Every 2 or 3 months she was gone. And then I come home off the road, house empty. Wow. And so she would leave it all the time. So, and then she'll come back when she get ready. She'll take $2,000-$3,000 out of my account, gone. Until when that $2,000-$3,000 run, I'm serious. I had no idea where she was many times.
Right.
And some days she just popped back up when she got ready. So this one final time she left. She was like, well, hey, I'm gone. I'm just gone. So I said, this is enough of that. Right. So, but yeah. We good friends. We good friends now because I make sure she's good still. Yeah, she's a good lady. Now at the time we was clashing, but now we're pretty good friends. I'll check on her, but my wife know everything. I told her we might be a broken family, but we still family. So yeah, man, can you believe Giannis has a 7-8 month-old kid? I'm a grandpa already. You hear me? Wow. Jesus of Nazareth.
Okay, so I see a picture behind you. Tell us about the picture. What is that?
That?
Yes.
Well, this is in my I'm still in my studio up here. That's B flat.
Right. What's B flat?
B flat is my production, my crew, my group. So Boysie Bowden. Matter of fact, I'm glad you asked because we producing music that's we're gonna be releasing a little something this year.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah, B flat. But you're gonna look for Boysie Bowden though when you go to iTunes and stuff like that. We sub what is it? I'm Boysie Bowden. It's like a solo artist. But B flat is the name of my studio, and B flat is the name of us with Sherri, Keisha, Natalie, my drummers and musicians.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we B flat,
Right. And how long have you had B flat?
I've had B flat for 11 years, 10 years. I started the actual studio, my own studio, 10 years ago. So, but I've been having B flat since it's been 12. So we started in 08.
Okay.
08, 13. Excuse me, Lord, I got to get my numbers right. 13 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so you guys have a blended family. Mm-hmm. You have your own studio group. And now I've seen on Sundays, couple of Sundays, I've seen you with your Bible out, going live.
Yeah.
Tell us what's that about?
Well, I feel like I write all the time, or God give me stuff all the time. And like I said, I used to write messages for preachers too. When God would give me something, I would call them and say, man, God told me X, Y, Z, and he'll preach on it. Or I would say, God said X, Y, Z, and I would see it come to pass. So, and she been trying to get me to preach. My mom, but bless her heart, before she passed, many years, and my dad both. Boys, you gonna preach the gospel? I said, I ain't preaching nobody's gospel. That's one thing I ain't doing. I play, So I was like, I'm not doing it, and I'm running. I'm still running, but I come up now because the Lord spoke to me when I was in the hospital in February and said, hey, it's time to rise up. I need you to say what I'm saying. I said, well, I ain't got no platform to say that. I'm not a preacher. Right. And I told her that. She was like, well, use Facebook. I said, I don't even want to go on Facebook. I'm a clown. I like to act, you know me. I like to get bored. You feel what I'm saying? You got to be kind of, I don't like to put a facade on.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing now. Like I said, she's trying to push me to that. And I think I've mentioned before, like when I lost my job in 01. Was it 01, 2000? Like, you need to play for. I said, I'm not doing. But you know what? I ain't had a job since then. I haven't worked. Yeah, I haven't worked for anybody since then. And God said, I'm gonna supply your need. And look, I live off of faith. And now I've been homeless 3 times. I said, God, you told me to do something, and I ain't got a place to stay. I'm up here, man. Sometimes I would go in a conference and planning conferences and going back home, moving out of the house because I got to move out of the house. Wow. And I said, God, this ain't right. I'm traveling all over the place. I ain't got a place to lay my own head. Wow. So you're going to have to provide for. We slept in the car sometimes, And when I became homeless, even though we weren't dating, she slept in the car with me. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So she's been supportive. So yeah, what I'm doing that on Sundays is, because God will give me something inspirational and I'll try to share it and use that because it'll bless somebody else. And he said, you don't know that one that I'm trying to touch by what you have to say or what I give you. So that's that. Pray for me.
Okay, so Sherri, that's some serious commitment. Right. He said, y'all wasn't even together, but you was by his side. Was that because you always felt like this was going to be the destination? Or was it just, you really loved him and couldn't totally let go? What was it? What made you?
No, it wasn't that I couldn't let go. I just didn't want him. I mean, a friend. My circle is small. I have a lot of friends, but my close friends is very small. And I feel that when your friends go through something, you go through it with them. And that particular night, we was just talking. I didn't want because I was still staying with my mom then. I didn't want him to sleep in the car by himself. So it was warm. It wasn't cold. He didn't have me out there, and you know what I'm saying. It wasn't like so. I just slept there with him. I didn't want him to be by himself. So it was just, hey, we're going through this together, and it wasn't for long. When you get back on your feet, you need something to eat. You need me to pay for it. You build a back for your friends. So regardless of what high, low situation they're in, you ride it out with them. So
yeah, and I did the same thing too, Samantha. Truth be told, well, not the same thing. Not in the same sense. It's like when she lost her place, and I told her, I said, look, I'm gonna tell you what I'm feeling in my spirit. I said, you're gonna lose your place. That's what you have to do. And she here, God, was it? This was in what was it? 02? 01?
No, that was 02.
That was 02. And I'm like, and she, you know what? Maybe a month later, she called me, and like, you was right. I lost the place. They only give me 7 days to move. I'm like, 7 days. And we tried different churches, and it was especially the church that she was ministering at, Mercy. We went to them, went to the pastor, like, no, we're not helping. Wow. Well, they didn't help because they didn't want her talking to me. You see, you follow me? So she called to me, like, I think that day, the last day before she had to be found fully out of the place. Right. And she says, hey, can I stay with you for 2 weeks? I'm like, me? It was me. I said, let me ask my ex-wife. I did, didn't I? So I called. Matter of fact, I drove to Greensboro. I said, look, I got this friend because I wanted to respect her too. You know what I mean? I kind of, yeah, we won't, because we wasn't final. Divorce won't final yet.
Okay.
Oh, so that's like, why are you asking her?
Oh, I mean, because you said ex-wife, so I'm trying to find.
Well, we hadn't divorced yet.
Okay.
And I still had, we were separated. Yes, right, we were separated, and I had her 2 kids and my son.
Right.
So I want to give her that respect, you know.
Right.
I said, look, hey, she wants to come in and for 2 weeks, you know, stay at the house. And I wanted to make sure you're good with that since, you know, I have the kids. She was like, that's your place. You do what you want to do. So I drove back home, set the 3 kids on the couch and say, look, I'm having this friend coming over. Nothing like that. I'm just going. I did. I set them down. And she going to come over and stay for a couple weeks until she get another place. Lo and behold, another place. Another place. I mean, she gets a letter in the mail saying, you cannot. She was what was it? She was banned from getting any housing in Gifford County for 5 years.
I think that I done it.
It was family. It wasn't. Yeah, let me clean that up a little bit.
Yeah,
it wasn't nothing that she did. It was family members that was in the house. You can't be on what is it, housing authority or you know what I'm talking about with substances. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't do that. And her family was up there one day, a brother or somebody. I guess, and one of the maintenance guys saw that and he reported it. So it caused her to lose her place due to family member. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
But so we was kind of sticking and helping one another doing those transitions. Whether she, you know, well, one time, Samantha, she did get to the point where, you know, I don't love you. I'll still come and sing on Sunday. I don't love you. That's it.
All I said was I wasn't in love with you. I just loved you as a friend.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Gotcha.
She said. I said, okay. All right then.
So Sherri, you so you're part of the crew of musicians, singers, and do you have what's your path as far as you guys walking this out together?
Well, of course, I'm going to always help him. I still lead praise and worship for the church that he plays for.
Okay.
I eventually want to do my own praise and worship CD, but I just don't want to do mine the same time he's working on his because whenever he focuses on music, he gives us all, and I don't want him focused on my project and it takes him away from his project. So once he gets his stuff out this year, then hopefully next year would be my year. We work on my stuff here and there because my son Tristan, believe it or not, is actually coming up with songs for my album, and he's actually good at it. So I'll work on mine here and there, but maybe in 2022, I'll have something out. But that's my passion.
Mine should have been out because some of the stuff that I've recorded was 10 years ago. Wow. I recorded 10 years ago. We still.
But everything happens in God's time, and He's his worst critic. So He'll add something, keep adding, listen, take something out, and we think it sounds great. We think it's for the radio, and he'll be like, no, I gotta fix it.
Because some of the stuff that I write that God given me ain't for me. You know, I write it and I'll be one of them to sing it, and they be refusing to believe it.
We feel like it's not for us. Like there are certain songs. I'm a heavy singer. I like praise songs. I mean, I worship, but I'm not that soft metal. I'm a hard singer.
Right.
So I don't think like the soft songs are really for me. So not that I don't want to sing his songs, it's just that I'll sing here and there, take bits and pieces out of it. But if it's not for my voice, I don't think I add color to it. So I'll say, no, you got to find somebody to sing it.
That's another thing too, is the son that we have, when the Lord said, don't abort that. He said, because I have a purpose for him. And then he said to me, he's going to be a drummer. I'm like, a drummer? I said, he's going to be a drummer. The Lord said, he's going to be a drummer. And he's going to play professionally. So I'm like, okay. I told her that. Right. And then, but you know, when he became one, he was sitting around out. He was doing that number.
Okay.
He was just tearing up. Yes, he started, and it was just, you know. But then Diane Barino, she prophesied one Sunday. She said, God said, this child is going to be a professional drummer. I said, she looked at me like, you just told me that. He going to pick. And then maybe the following year or months later, one a whole year. That's when he got hit by the car.
Wow.
And the car hit him and drug him 10 feet down the street or so, probably more than that. And the glove, his feet, they wanted to amputate. I said, no, y'all ain't finna amputate. Well, Mr. Bow, we're going to amputate this foot. I said, no, y'all ain't, because I know what God said to me. And to this day, he plays. He did a lot of recording on my stuff too. Matter of fact, he's been playing. The church hired Tristan when he was 7. He was just that good. He's just that good. And I said, well, hey, look, here I am thinking about my own selfish, thinking 01,
Right.
02.
Right.
But sometimes you have to listen to the voice of God. But all the time. All the time. All the time.
Right.
Okay, so Boysie, if God is, well, actually this question is more for Sherri. So Sherri, if God is leading him toward the pulpit, even though he's kicking and screaming to go the other way, so that naturally means a progression for you as well.
Absolutely.
And how do you feel about that?
I know the calling is there. I know I should be evangelizing, and I don't mind going forth after my husband or under my husband, because I know that I will be under great leadership. So wherever he goes, I go. If he needs me to preach or exalt, then so be it. I do it anyway for praise and worship. It just comes out. So I know that there's a calling, and I know that I'm in the right place at the right time to help him wherever he needs to go. So, but he knows it's there. And I know that whether, how long ever it takes for us to get there, I know that it's coming. But I'm not rushing. Everything is in God's time. But I know that there's a place that he needs to be at, and where we are, that's not it. That's not it.
Okay. Listen, let me tell you something. When I hear women and they be like, oh, whatever my husband do, I'll just, whatever you like, I'm going to. I be like, that is so beautiful. Like, I don't know. I think that, like the scoop when God was making me and, he was scooping different stuff into who I am. I didn't get that scoop. I think my scoop kind of like fell on the floor somewhere. Or it got like blown away in the dust. I mean, I naturally, I support him and what he does. They pulled the plug.
He's messing with stuff.
Okay. So, well, just to finish my thought, of course I would support you in what you do, but that whole I'm with you when I'm not really sure if I want to be with you. I don't know if I have that in me.
I'm sorry, we got disconnected somehow.
You was messing with stuff.
Yeah, we hear you, but you guys, your circles, you're black. Your screen's black.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Forgive me.
But I was not always like this. I didn't want to be the first lady, because when you think of a first lady, you think of big hats. And my son was just joking with me. Mom, you gonna have them hats? Oh no, I'm not.
Right.
I don't want to be called first lady. You can call me Lady B. Unless you just call me by my name, I don't have to be first lady this, first lady that. I don't have to have nobody running after me, holding my purse. No, I don't need all that attention. I'm just first lady because I'm his wife, and I'm there to push him and cheer him on. And yeah, I'm just saying when it comes, because I don't always want.
Y'all talking in like present tense.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying.
Brother, they're speaking those things that are not as though they were.
Right.
Like ask me to be. No, did you want to be married to a pastor? No, I'm good. But no, it wasn't all. The ingredients was not always there. Right. They just eventually developed.
Because I never in my life had ambitions. Still don't have ambitions.
And some of my friends desire that they want to marry a pastor. And they say, oh, I'm going to marry a pastor to be a first lady one day.
But if it happens, it's coming. If it comes, it comes. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. It's because people call me from out of state a lot. Men of God call me. Preachers call me. And I'll be like, hey, this is what God showed me. This is what God said. I've called people and told them prophetically, this is what God said. You need. I'm gonna use an example. What was this? A friend of mine that lives out of state on the other side of the country called me one day, and we was on the phone about 2 a.m. and I'm dozing, and I heard the Spirit of the Lord said, tell her there's a child in her class. And I said, there's a child in your class that starts with Jaquar something. I don't know his name. It's a Jaquar. And she was like, no. And here I am thinking about, well, maybe I ain't hear God. Because, people will make you feel like you ain't hearing, right? So I'm like, no. I said, well, what you need to do is visualize your classroom and go down in the row and tell me each name. And she started going down the row and telling me the name of each kid. And she says, yes, it's a Jaquar that sits on the second row. I said, well, the Lord said, you need to pair him with a girl that's in his classroom. It's the same age as him. Pair him. I said, because he's going through something at his home. Mind you, they live across the country. I never met him. Going something in his home, and it's causing his grades to fail. And she's like, well, there's no one in my class that's the same age. I said, okay. And I went on and told her about some other things. But she called me back the next day when she went to class. She says, Boysie, there is a kid that's in my class. Their birthdays is on the same day. Wow. They're the same age. A week later, she called me back. She said, I paired him with him. She said, this kid was going through, the grandmother had to take care of the kid. He was in some kind of mental thing he was going through because of the abuse from the mother. Wow. So my point is, I'm doing the work behind the scenes.
Right.
It's just, I don't want to be in the forefront.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you see me on Sundays on Facebook, I just try to keep it real, inspirational. Let me get out the thing and go about my business.
Right.
I think this is a setup. You know what I'm saying? Kind of trying, almost kind of push me into it slightly. You know what I mean? Right. But we'll see, man. That's why I say pray for your boy, because at the end of the day, I don't want that. I've always said it. I don't want that responsibility. I don't, because look, if you ever, me as a lay person, as a regular church member, I can be in church and not saying that I don't want to live right, because I do. I struggle to do God's will every day.
Right.
But me as a man, pastors have a standard to live by. And people see that standard that they have to live by, preachers. Mm-hmm. If I mess up, that's, boys, he just messed up. But you know what I'm saying? Not saying I am, but you get what I'm saying? And then, if I'm Pastor Boysie and mess up, they're like, oh yeah, that's that preacher, that guy that used to preach a long time. You remember that guy used to preach at that church? Oh, that's the preacher. I'm always labeled a preacher. You see what I'm saying? And I never did one. I don't even like when they call me Brother Boysie at church. I told the man, just call me Boysie. Call me Brother Boysie. I don't like the labels. I don't know why, but that's why I say pray for me. Pray for me. Yeah. I don't like the labels, but we'll see. Yeah. And I think too, because even Sherri, when we was coming, I make sure this is my first responsibility. I told her, I said, look, when we started talking, I hadn't completely divorced yet. We were still separated. She said, how you gonna take care of your wife and me? Or y'all separated when y'all get a divorce? I don't know. I said, let me worry about that. So even when my wife and ex-wife now had separated or whatever, for the first 4 years during the separation, I made sure her bills were paid. I made sure she had food, even though the kids were with me. I made sure if she wanted her nails done, I got her nails done. And if I got her nails done, I had to make sure I came back. The gift would count at a high point. I made sure she had her nails done. I just wouldn't let what I did there overshine what I was doing with her, because I knew God was transitioning me somewhere else. So I made sure she was good. Like now, she don't have to worry about nothing. She didn't have to worry about nothing. We was friends. She didn't. She had to worry about this bill need to be paid, this need to be that, this need to be. She had to worry about it. I made sure she had it. And I made sure she had a car. Even when we was not dating, I bought her a car. I said, because I shouldn't be riding good in my mother's or my child ain't riding good. You know what I mean? Or her, she's breaking down. So I made sure she had, and that's another thing I think, Samantha. You got to give them the vision. You got to take that picture. You know, hey, no, for real, no, for real. That's it.
Nice.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, it's like, you know, like stuff spinning in my head. So y'all was doing all this stuff for each other, right? But in between there, dating other people, and y'all didn't have any inkling of trying to be together at some point?
Initially, yeah. But then when it started getting like, you do what you want to do, I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. But she was like, what was your man talking to you too? I just, you know.
Like he said, at times I did, and then the longer or the many years that started going by, I started getting used to us being friends. So I didn't see us getting married.
You sure did.
I didn't see it. So
because I was about to say we was only divorced for 3 years.
3 years.
But by the time we got divorced, after, like, you know, for me, I was kind of like over it. I mean, you know, like we were still amicable, you know, like, because of course we have children, and you know, he still took care of different things and all of that. But like, even when we started to reconnect, I was kind of like, what are we doing? Like this was over. So just to hear that you guys was able to do this for that long, that is very, very interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. When for a while there, Samantha, when she lost her place, I still allowed her to stay in my home. Even she came to my home, and I didn't mind. Like I said, I'm an open book, and I didn't mind saying it to people. But the Lord said, stop telling folks that because they don't know how to take that. And first of all, because they think in one thing. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I allowed her to stay there, still stay at my home, even though she would go see somebody else. You know what I mean? So because I told her I wasn't going to allow her to be out on the street either, because I had been there before. So I said, my home is open to you. So I gave her keys to every car I drove. I gave her a house. I gave her a key to my house. She wanted to go to my house and stay, sleep, live. I was on the road a lot anyway. It didn't bother me. And she was helping me for as the kids. So I was like, hey, you ain't got your place, stay at my crib. You know what I mean?
That's how we got that's how I became close with the kids. Because I act like a big kid myself, running them around the house, we fighting and wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Okay, so Sherri, what do you do now? Like, what do you do? Like,
work-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, I work for a company called Alight. I'm a manager, so I have like 21 agents aligned to me that's under me. So I'm a manager doing what I wanted to originally do. Start off as customer service and then just work my way up in the company. Awesome company to work for. So that's what I'm doing now. And right now we're working from home. I have to go into the office maybe once or twice a month, depending on if we have like certain meetings or I have to be manager on duty. But other than that, I talk to my agents. We'll call each other one-on-ones. We're now getting them webcams where we can video them. So it's definitely an adaptment. And I just became a manager in 2019. So then the pandemic happened right after that. So yeah, definitely a transition. But I love what I do. I love helping the careers.
What happened?
Let's fire somebody today.
That's part of the job.
Right.
Yeah, it's part of the job. But you know what? Some of these people, I be advocating for. I said, sure, you got fired. Let me give her a little shit. Got fired. She got to do what she got to do.
I don't like doing it. But some people, you know, you don't really want to be. You don't really want this job. So yeah, let's go ahead and terminate. And those are some people that I don't really want to. But because you did this, I don't have a choice. Yeah. So that's the part of the job that I don't care too much for, but it's part of it, so I can't control it. But yeah, I manage 21 agents. So.
And not to give myself credit because it's not about me. I pushed her too. I said, you need to go over here and you need to apply here. This is what you need to do. And this is what I'm feeling in my spirit. This is what God said to me. All right, and she'll go do it. Now, at first she would kind of kick against the heel, the prick. But then she finally went. As a matter of fact, when she got the job, she was there for a little while, and then the Lord told me to tell her. Well, I said, they finna give you a mandatory position. I told her that.
Right.
She came to me one day. What was it, last year? It was last year, maybe a year and a half. One morning, she came to me. Normally I'm up, but this morning, because I would always get up in the morning, especially when it's cold, I would crank her car, make sure it's running, it's warm when she gets in it. Because even though I got a garage, her car went in the garage. So I just get up and crank her car. But this morning, I was still in the bed. She came over, they prayed for me. I said, private the job, but they're going to give me an answer today. And blah, blah, blah. I said, I was in my mood. And the reason why I was in my mood is because, we are familiar with one another.
Right.
And the Bible says plainly that a prophet ain't even, welcome in his own home. You know what I'm trying to say? So I gave her a word one day on the way back. We were on maybe a couple hours away from home. And she like, God ain't told me that. That type of deal. So when she walked out the door, I was laying in the bed. And I heard her put a key in the door, because my door, you had to put the key in and lock it on the way back out, on the way out. And the Lord spoke to me and said she already got the position. Now, I didn't even tell her. I didn't even tell her when she got to work. I didn't tell her when she got home. I said nothing for a week. So one day she came in the following week. She said, well, I'm supposed to give me a call. And my best friend, Natalie, the white lady, she was at the house, that day. And Sherri got a phone call. And she goes, she said, just a job call. And she goes in the back room. And I told Natalie, I said, look, the Lord has already told her she got the position. Nice. I said, why she gonna come out there? She ain't got it. We hadn't even spoke, had we?
Right.
So I said, Natalie said, she got the position. I said, yeah. I said, you even told me how much she gonna make. So she came back out with a little computer and a laptop in her hand. Well, they said, I got a shot. And here go Natalie. Oh! I just sat there like a knot on the law, looked at her. I did, I ain't gonna lie. I looked at her and I said, she kind of felt some type of way because I won't celebrate. Well, you know what I mean? I looked at her, I said, let me tell you something.
My butt to get where I am.
Yeah.
Not celebrate.
I didn't celebrate. And I said, why I didn't say, I didn't celebrate you? She like, why? I said, because you didn't want to hear the word that I gave you the first time. So I won't give you the word that God gave me this time about whatever. I said, by the way, this is how much you're going to be making. Now, when I hit my phone up like this here, and it was the exact number, she's like, how do you know that's where I'm going? Because she didn't tell me. It was the exact number to the penny. My friend, Natalie was sitting beside me. I said, because this is what God said to me. This is what you're going to be making, by the way. She said, okay, then. I said, because I was in my little way. God can give us stuff. And see, that's why I don't want it. It's a thin line. I think men of God tends to hold or use God as a crutch. And God said this and God said that. And sometimes God don't be said anything. Right. And we that really love Christ be like, okay, God said this to me. I'm gonna try to trust the man of God. This is what God said. So I try to be mindful of when I say God said to people, because I don't want to use manipulation. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my mindset, because it's a thin line, man, because you're affecting people's lives.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So who does all the cooking? Or who does the most of the cooking?
Okay, so I do the most of the cooking, but he and his mom are the ones who taught me how to cook.
Now, she do most of the cooking now.
Well, that's what she said. Basically, if you taught her.
Wait, no, you got to understand something, Samantha. I've been around Sherri for 20 years. I see Sherri. Listen, there were days I'm doing all the cooking. Sherri can come home from work, even up to maybe a few months ago. The meal is done for the house.
Right.
Yeah, I taught her how to cook. But I said, you know what I said? Look here. I said, I'm gonna leave that to you. This was maybe what, 6-7 months ago. Won't it?
When you stopped cooking?
Didn't stop. I just backed up.
Oh.
I just backed up.
But no, I mean, yeah, I still, he will definitely give me some breaks throughout the week. Like maybe he'll do twice and I do the rest of the week. But then we ate out a lot on the weekends too.
Okay.
So he definitely has spoiled me in that aspect. So when I don't have to cook, I don't. And if I just say I got a taste for, and we go. So.
Right.
Another thing is I don't let her do it. It's just my mama had all boys, and she said one day you're gonna have a wife. So I stayed in the house and learned how to cook and learn how to tend to the house. And a lot of times when she's up in the kitchen, I'm not sitting there just not on my feet, just resting. I'm reclining and watching the game. I'll get up and go in there and help her. I'll get up there and go in there and I'm doing something. I just feel like me sitting there. Now my brother's a different story. He thinks it's just why didn't you cook me nothing to eat? I need I'm hungry. But me, no. I'm doing everything with her pretty much.
Right.
Unless I'm up in the studio or I got some other stuff I got to do, but more for you. Yeah.
Okay, so who's the neat freak?
Me.
Wait a minute.
Now the office work might be kind of
Yeah, his office work be all on my kitchen table, but we're pretty much equal when it comes to neat. We don't like stuff everywhere, clutter. No.
I think we're kind of equal in that sense.
Okay.
Who does the most shopping? Clothes shopping.
Clothes? No, neither one of us really.
It's the same when it comes to shopping. If we go to a store, we'll both get something. It's not like I'm out.
Look. Just because God bless you, don't mean you. Look, I've been homeless a couple of times. You hear me?
So you got it, don't mean you got it.
Look, some of the shoes I wear, I know one pair I wear almost every day, and I've been wearing them shoes for 7 years? I don't buy Sherri made me go to the mall maybe 3-4 days ago and buy some shoes.
Right.
So I don't buy a lot of clothes because I think a lot of us, we tend to go to the mall and buy an $80 pair of jeans because men's clothes are expensive, besides women, and a $45 shirt and a $130 pair of shoes, and that's half the paycheck. And we wonder why we're struggling.
Right.
So I tell her I don't take my money and she know it. I don't take my money and go buy it for me because I believe that when I first had my first child, that I became on the back burner. So I do for them before I do for myself anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't buy a lot of clothes. And if it is Samantha, $5. As a matter of fact, one of my live shows, I was on my live show. I had a little T-shirt. That shirt was $5. I told you ain't got to spend all this money.
We definitely try reasonable. Every now and then we'll say, okay, you need these $90 shoes. Me personally, I'm not a tennis shoe person, so you don't never have to buy me a $90 pair of tennis shoes. I would rather wear heels or flats. But I have to force him to get shoes that expensive because he won't. Now my kids, that's a different story.
They got no problem.
Yeah, like my oldest son just bought him some Louis Vuitton. What'd you call them? Louis. Yeah, I was like, you really paid that much for them shoes?
Wow.
So, yeah.
I looked at it. You're the very ones that's calling. Hey, pops, I need
right.
$800
shoes.
But you can still look cute. Not spending as much. So keep people wondering.
Yeah, I don't buy a lot of clothes. I'm gonna start though. I told her the other day I'm gonna start give me something to wear. My wardrobe, I'm gonna just go replace all of it. I need to look good for a change. I need to start taking care of boys, don't I? Honey, what happens? She know it. I take care of them more than I take care of myself. I mean, Lord, honey, I need $1,000. Honey, I need $400 for what? I want to buy me some clothes. And Samantha, I give her the money for the clothes.
And I spend on them.
And she go, Tristan, she go spend the money, or she end up just like, Mom, I want something from Zaxby. Mom, can I go get some Arigatos? Mom, can I drive the car? And she started spending that money. I said, shit. Then she come back to me one day and say, hey, I need to make I said, for what? I want to get this. I said, then I just give you for the clothes. I said, you sure you don't mean you set me up? You end up getting 9 when you ask for 4. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
And no clothes to show for it.
And no clothes to show for it.
So what's the one quirky thing that you learned about each other, or weird thing that you learned about each other?
Let me tell you something.
Oh God.
You know what? I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right there.
Wait. I don't.
I happened to be sitting downstairs last night, and she had made some spaghetti. She makes some pretty good spaghetti. She made some spaghetti maybe a couple days ago, and she's like, "I'm just giving some leftover spaghetti." And she sat down on the couch. Normally, I don't eat in my living room.
Oh.
Sat down on the couch and this is what she did. Can you see this?
Oh, is that Cheetos on the spaghetti?
No.
Yes. And I looked over there and I said, is that Cheetos on that thing? Corn cheese puffs? She was like, yes, we used to eat just like this since I was a kid. I said, you see what I'm saying? You forever learning each other. I've been around you for 20 years and you never ate no Cheetos with no spaghetti. And she did it again today. And then had me to try today.
And he liked it.
I said,
Did you like it?
It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad.
Because we didn't have, sometimes we didn't have the bread or we didn't have the crackers. So my mama improvised. We grew up poor. So
Cheetos and spaghetti.
Yeah.
I mean, that just don't. I mean, if I didn't have bread, no, I gotta. My stomach is sensitive. Like, you about to mess up my whole dinner. And listen, every day spaghetti for dinner tonight.
Oh, really?
Get you some Cheetos. Go to the store and get her some Cheetos.
That's something he might try. I can't. My food can't mix like that. That don't even.
They don't even go together. So that's one quirky thing I learned. Yeah, that's one quirky thing I learned. I said, Darren, I've been around you all this time, and I found this out last night. You ain't never said that. So yeah,
she was sneaking it.
So what's something quirky about Boysie?
Boysie, there's never a dull moment, and I love to laugh. If you can't make me laugh, we can't be in a relationship. And he just walks around the house talking to himself, singing to himself, preaching to himself. I mean, there's a character that he does that's called Jeffrey. And he just literally goes around the house I'm like, one day I just walked in the house, I'm like, is somebody in here? And no, he was just talking and singing and this is every day. Like every day. If he's not talking and singing around the house, preaching to himself, then something is off. Something is wrong. So this is what he does. And I just be laughing at, or he's going around the house dancing. And my son called it the fat man syndrome because when he eats, he gets excited and he gets to dance. And
I'm in a good mood.
And he's in a good mood. So yeah, those are
look
the
he had the refrigerator. He's got the fat man syndrome. That's why I'm getting all this way.
But yeah, he's always singing, always joking, always talking like Bernie Mac. And
you know what? Going even when the kids was growing up, I had this character I would get in called Jeffrey. Hey, Giannis. You know, I would go to school and be like, Giannis. You know what I'm saying? I would like Daddy Jeffrey for to come out, and I was doing that all the time, doing something really dull. Some really stupid. I just get in character for him.
Chasing after them, and we had this escort that he used to drive, old escort, which he still has to this day. So he'll roll up with the music just bumping and embarrassing the kids because it's already an old car and it's rusty looking. And he coming through, the car is loud and the music is loud. So he's just pulling up, acting like Jeffrey, making them get in the car. And
Nice.
I'm still tripping off this Cheetos and
I know.
You have to try it. Don't like it until you try it.
They call me by surprise. And she gonna come trying to get some while she on lunch break today. Like, you want to try it?
Wow.
I don't think I want to try it. I'll try it. But she'll start feeling some kind of way when I don't try her stuff. So I tried it. You like it? I'm like, it's all right. Do you like it, baby?
All right. So we're going to close out. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. We're going to take you off the screen. Don't go anywhere. We're going to close out and we'll chat right after.
Sure.
Let's see. All right,
guys. That
was an interesting conversation. Stuff I didn't even know. That was a journey I didn't know about. We've known them for quite some time, probably around not
It's
01, probably 2002-ish. So a lot of what they were going through, I was like, man, you know, we've seen them every Sunday. For
a while.
For a while, so it's wild to know the backstory.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy. I think I remember that Escort. I don't know. I don't know if he's had that long, but I think I remember it. Because he's really great with cars. That's another of his gifts.
Jack of
right. Jack of all trades. Yes, indeed. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us and sharing all my replay viewers. Thank you for watching. As always, we like to close out. Love intentionally.
Love unconditionally.
And love.
You forgot last week.
I did.
On
purpose. I'm getting a little old. I'm gonna be a little older in a few weeks. You know, I'm getting up there. Don't do that to me. Me and you together, our purpose for forever.